Hi, welcome to today's episode of the book of Luke. And in today's episode, we are looking at the book of Luke chapter. In the book of Luke chapter 9, Jesus called the 12 and gave them authority and power to deal with all demons and cure diseases. He commissioned them to preach the news of God's kingdom and heal the sick. So he told them, while you are going, don't load yourself up with so much. You are the equipment. Don't start looking for equipment. Keep it simple. He gave them instruction. He charged them. He said, if you get to a place and you are not accepted, don't cause any sin there. Just leave. So they left, going from town to town, preaching the gospel of Christ, curing people everywhere they went. When Herod heard of these things, he was like, oh, could it be that John the Baptist has come back to life? Or could it be that Elijah had appeared? Could it be that some prophets that has died long time ago showed up again? Because what's all these miracles, signs and wonders that I'm hearing about? Who is this person that I keep hearing about? He was so curious. He was looking for how he can meet Jesus. So the apostles returned and gave report and said, oh Jesus, them tremble at your name. No, we heal the sick at your name. And Jesus took them away and said, you need to rest. You need to rest. After which Jesus fed the 5,000. He fed the 5,000 with a little boy's milk. So he said to them that, these people, what are they going to eat? No, it was even the disciples that said, let's dismiss these people and let them go to their house. If there's something they will eat, Jesus said, how can we dismiss them? Let's feed them. He said, feed them? How? With what? With just 5 loaves and 2 fish? He said, just bring it. Let the people sit. He blessed it, broke it, gave it to them. They ate and they still gathered up 12 baskets remaining. Jesus encouraged us. Do not run away from trials. Do not run away from suffering. Sufferings are part of your journey as a child of God. Sufferings are part of your journey as a disciple. Here I am. I hear more people say, but you have been walking with me, you've been moving with me. Do you know who I am? Do you know me? They then said, oh yes, we know you. Peter said, you are the Son of God. He said, flesh and blood has not actually to you. James and John, where there was this was strong, they could not behold the glory. The glory was so tangible. And so when they finally could raise up their heads, they saw Jesus in his glory, 2 men standing with him, Elijah and Moses. And when Jesus was done, Peter was like, let's build memorial here for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. But Jesus said, I don't even want you to tell anybody about what happened. Quiet. There's no need for building any memorial. And so when they came down from the mountain, there was a man who brought his child and said, I've been here with your disciples to heal my son, but there's nothing they could do. My son has just been there full of living in possession of devil. And just said, you of little faith, how long will I be with you? Jesus took the sword and devil get out. So the devil get out. So the disciples that he's going to be betrayed and he's going to be killed. But they could not understand what he was saying. They didn't comprehend what he was saying, and they started arguing with themselves. Who is going to inherit the highest place of honor? Who's going to be most famous and all? And Jesus was like, John was like, we saw somebody casting out devils in your name, but we shut him up because he's not part of us. Jesus was like, no, don't stop him. If he's not an enemy, he's an ally. So they continued. Jesus now had to sum up courage and say it's time to go to Samaria. And when he was trying to go to Samaria, when he was going to go to Samaria, when he was going to Jerusalem rather, he was to pass through Samaria. And so he sent his messengers ahead, go and prepare ways where we can stay in Samaria for us. And so they were like, no, there's no space for Jesus. They did not allow him to pass through their place. They refused him hospitality. James and John were like, should we just call down fire to burn this place and all? Jesus was like, of course not. You won't do that. Let's go through another village. We are not allowed to pass through here. We would definitely be allowed to pass through in another place. While they were going on the way, someone came to me and said, she said, I will go with you wherever. Can you see? And Jesus said, are you ready to rough it? We are not staying in the best inn, He said to another, follow me. He said, certainly, but first, excuse me, full of this, because I have to make arrangement for my father's burial. Jesus refused. First thing first, your business is life, not death. And life is urgent and not God's kingdom. Then another said, I am ready to follow you, master, but first, excuse me, while I get things straight out at home. Jesus said, no procrastination, no backward looks. You can't put God's kingdom off till tomorrow. Seize the day. Seize the day. And this is where I will start from. Procrastination. Procrastinate. God has asked you to do something. You have planned yourself, I'm going to do this at this time, at this month, by this time. Now it is time. You said, oh, I will do it next 1 month, I will do it next one year. The Lord is saying to you this morning, or whatever the time is where you are hearing me from, He says, no procrastination. You can't put God's kingdom off till tomorrow. Cease today. Even Jesus said that He will work the work of the Father during the day, because night comes when no man can work. But we always think that we have all the time in the world to do whatever God wants us to do. No, you don't have all the time. Even Jesus respected that fact that night will come when no man can work. Now that you have the time to work, you have the strength to work, you have the resources to work, get to work. No more procrastination. No more procrastination. No more procrastination. No more procrastination. Prayer is very powerful. Even Jesus, when He was praying, the Bible says that the fashion of His countenance was altered. Prayer is very powerful. So you could be at the middle of God's glory and not know it. Peter, James, and John were sleeping. The Bible said, meanwhile, Peter and those with him were slumped over in his sleep. When they came to, rubbing their eyes, they saw Jesus in His glory and the two men standing with Him. They didn't know. They have thought that, it's the usual and regular way we always follow Jesus out. We are the best clique, we are the best three. So we are following Him out as usual today. So they didn't prepare for the spectacular. They were sleeping in the middle of that kind of encounter. That was why when Peter woke up, the Bible said he didn't think before saying that they want to build memorial, one for Jesus, one for Elijah, one for Moses. He said, no, you've been quiet until I resurrected. Then you are permitted to talk. So you could be in the middle of God's glory and not know God's glory, God's move, and not know that God is moving. God's breath, God's touch upon what you think is all you need for it to grow into a greater one, into a bumper harvest. When the disciples said, there's nothing we can give this for except 5 loaves of bread, and to there, bring it. You think it's little, it's not little. Blessed it, and He broke it and gave it to them and fed the people that were there. This faith challenge, trusting God for abundance, I want to encourage you to sow what you have. When you don't have enough, sow what you have. Sow what you have. Sow what you have. Sow what you have. I'm led to tell you, sow what you have. I am led to tell you, sow what you have. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and I will see you.